Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Nick,
And I'm Marquita.
and welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Circle the podcast. All right.
Yes.
So, for those of you all who are new, um, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you are following us on all platforms: Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Angel22. Right, 22 WENTY 2TWO. All right. So, real quick, so for those of you who are new as well, we are starting off our episode like we always do with our angel check-in. And pretty much what our angel check-in is pretty much time that we take to check in on each other. And also we kind of talk about if we felt our mom presence this week. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna lead, and then I'll let Marquita go ahead and answer. Okay. So, um, how have I felt my mom's presence this week, and also how I'm doing? So this week for me, I was just actually talking to Marquita about this. I felt my mom's presence because I'm starting to pick up on the habit of going to the stores, right? So, um, at first I was real against, like, when my mom was here, like that was her love language, like going to, like,
Mhm.
shop, shop till you drop. Like that was Chantel Mann's, like, signature thing to do. Shop till she dropped. And I didn't like doing that because I didn't have the patience to do it at the time. I really didn't like being in the store or being outside of the house for extended periods of time. I really just didn't have the patience to do it. So now I've started to pick up on doing those things. And so I know it's something that my sister loves to do. She loves to do that because that's something that she and my mom bonded together doing, was shopping. So now I feel like I was telling Marquita, I was kind of blaming her, but I was also like, but in a good way, blaming her. But also too, I felt my mom's presence in that moment because I know that is something that she enjoyed doing, and I feel like is also allowing me to feel a little bit closer to her, because like while I'm in the stores, I'm always thinking about her. I'm thinking about if she was there with me, like, she would be like, oh, Nick, there, this is nice, this is cute, you want this cute,
Mhm.
oh, you don't know what you're talking about, I'm gonna get it anyway. Just always just like kind of thinking about, like, what her presence would be in, like, those particular moments when I do feel close to her. So
Mhm.
that's what I'll say about, like, how I felt my mom's presence this week. But overall, how I'm feeling this week, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good this week. Um, Everything is just real chill. Like everything just been real kosher, real peaceful. And my nervous system has been feeling regulated. So I'm
That's
feeling
good.
pretty okay. I'm feeling pretty okay. Marquita, what would you say? How have you felt mommy's presence this week? And also, how have you been feeling this week?
Um, I have been. I'm tired. I think, and it's not just like I'm sleepy. That's what it is. Like, I just feel like I just need. I always feel like I need a day of rest. The problem with that is, it's like I'll sleep, and then once I'm up, then I'm up. But I feel like in my mind, I just always imagine just being in a bed all day and sleeping all day, and it just never happens that way. I feel like for me, I just had a long work week, and I'm tired, but I'm more sleepy tired than anything. Um, I'll sleep that. And honestly, I don't really think I felt mommy's presence this week. I tried to think of, like, reflect on my week while you were talking to see, like, did I feel mommy's presence? I don't think so. I don't think this week wasn't the week. Like, I just didn't. No, I didn't really feel much of anything. Um, yeah. So, and that happens more times than not. It's just I can't force myself to have experiences or encounters where I think about her, but when they happen, and when they don't, and I just embrace both of them. So this week, I would say I don't really have any direct experiences that I can kind of speak about in terms of how I felt her presence this week, but that's okay. because she always lives in my heart. That will never change. Um, so yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, that's not too bad, and I think it's good like to be. I think it's good to be transparent because I think sometimes we try to force like having like those experiences. So I totally understand for sure.
Yeah. So we are going to jump right into episode 208. I honestly can't believe that we are even at episode 208, to be honest. And I think we've recorded more episodes than eight. Because I think we have two special episodes that are not
Yeah.
necessarily listed in the number. Yeah. So I just, I can't believe it. So we have came a long way. So we are going to jump into episode 208. And today we're just going to be talking about every episode is really a continuation from what we talked about the previous episode. So this episode we're really going to just dive into more detail about what we actually had to do or start doing, after the funeral, because we talked about the funeral and we talked about we tried to get into it in the last episode in terms of the pivots that we had to make and feeling like the next day we had to get up and do X, Y, and Z. And trust me, that process didn't stop. I honestly don't know when we slowed down. Well, I guess this when we talk about what we talk about today, I guess that is technically us slowing down. But um, yeah. So that's pretty much what we're just going to talk about, just life after physically not having her around and how we were trying to pick up the pieces to our life. So one of the things, which I don't know if we mentioned the last episode, but our mom we have mentioned that she was an educator. That you all know. She was an educator and she was a stickler for higher education. It Nothing else mattered. What we knew and what stuck with us was that she was very serious about us going to school and getting our degree. That was something that she did not play about. So, we really worked very hard to honor that and to hold that promise that we would continue going through with school, because we knew it was something that she kind of expected of us to do. So before we got into school, we hit a roadblock in our journey after she passed. So after, some time after the funeral, and once we started doing a few little things, we moved back into our old house. So where we kind of grew up from, I want to say first grade all the way until 12 is what we lived in that house. And so we decided to move back in just for our own space. And we was just like, well, why not? Little did we know, we didn't really know much about home ownership. We knew she owned the home, but we just didn't know like the legalities behind everything and how all of that would come crumbling down at some point. But it held us up for a while. So we moved back in to the home, and I want to know, because I never really asked myself that, but how did you feel, Nick, moving back into the house? Because I don't think we've ever entertained that conversation.
Um, I don't even know that I even felt a way.
Mhm.
Um, well, no, I'll take it back. I think I knew it was gonna be weird
Mhm.
because I knew mommy wasn't there. I think the biggest thing was like being in that space and having to get adjusted to not having mommy in that space with us
Mhm.
because like you said, like that's a place where mommy raised us. We had a ton of
Yeah.
childhood memories in that place, and her stuff was still there.
Mhm.
So and then also too, like we're going into it the same way that she left it before
Yes.
we had to move her into a home, right? So I think kind of kind of going in there. I don't know. I was kind of a little nervous,
Mhm.
a little nervous. But I think that's pretty much all of the feelings that I felt. Right. I think I was just kind of going with the flow as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's interesting because I can't quite pinpoint. how I felt moved back home. I think one of the things that I felt comfortable. I felt like it was very familiar, but I don't, I can't quite remember in terms of the core memories we had in that house. Like, did I feel any type of way once we moved back in? So that's, I don't know, that just crossed my mind while I was speaking. But our cousin, I want to say cousin, helped us clean the house because we had to go back. We had to clean the house because, like Nick said, it was left in the condition that it was last in, and that wasn't the best condition. It wasn't absolutely the worst, but it just wasn't how we were used to living. And we had to clean up. So I remember we had some help. Is what I'm really trying to say. We had help from family and friends, and we moved. We had to go into the home, clean it up, make it livable again, where we can be comfortable. And that's really where we spent that first year after she passed. We spent that first year in our the home we grew up in. Um, and we were so excited about getting back into school. That was like the biggest thing because we've mentioned in other videos that we did attend Virginia Wesleyan, now university, but it was college at the time, Virginia Wesleyan College, for our first year in undergrad. And we wanted to go back. We were trying to figure it out and all of these things and how we can get back in. And we ran into another roadblock with, oh, well, you owe X amount of dollars in financial aid, so that's not possible. So we were really like stuck between a rock and a hard place. We didn't know what to do. We had this burning desire to go back to school, and we had tunnel vision for that, but we just did not have the knowledge or the information about how do we pivot from this, because this is just like really a roadblock in our way. It's creating a barrier for us because now we can't get transcripts. Now we can't transfer even if we wanted to. So we tried so many options. So we we had to start working. Like, we needed to have our own income. We needed to be able to fend for ourselves. So we got jobs. And at the time, they were little retail jobs, minimum wage paying jobs. Well, Nick, you kind of you didn't really do retail so much so.
No, to be completely honest, it took me a while to find a job.
Mhm.
I think Marquita was the only one I had a job at the time, and I was struggling to find a job.
Mhm.
But then like I think maybe like a couple months after that, I had ended up getting a job. I was a housekeeper at a hotel.
Mhm.
And then I did that for a while. I did that for maybe like 2 years or a year and a half or something like that.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So she worked at the hotel, and then I worked in retail. And it was more like cashier, straighten up the floor, just retail stuff. And we worked. Did I have? Yeah, I think we were there at those jobs for a year, if I'm not mistaken. But even during that time, we still did not give up on our dream and our hope to get back into school. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, the idea that we had in mind was that we were going to work to make the money to be able to pay back what we owe so we could get back to school. That's what we settled for, because it's like, okay, I think we contacted VWC. They told us we owed and that we wouldn't be able to come back. We also wouldn't be able to transfer anywhere else. But I think we tried applying to local schools in Baltimore, which they were like community colleges. We tried applying, and one of the things you need is your transcripts. So we really were like just stuck, and we just didn't know what to do. And the amount of money that we owed was like so unrealistic for us to pay back at the time. So in our minds, we just kind of chucked it up and was just like, you know what? It just is what it is. We're gonna just have to work and pay these loans back, and at some point we'll be able to, go to school. But we just kind of, I don't want to say gave up, but we just settled for what was told to us, and that's what they told us. So we worked and we lived life, and we still made memories and hung out with friends and family and did all the things. And then we got to a point towards the end of that year. So we're in 2012 at this point. And I don't know what okay. I think it was our godmother. She was saying, um, I think we were at her house or something, and she mentioned that we should consider sending a letter to Warren Buffett. Is that what came first?
No, so what ended up coming first was that, and I need you to start giving yourself some credit.
Okay.
So what happened was, I don't know what struck Marquita's bright mind to say, I think we should start writing letters. And
Mhm.
she kind of brought it up, like proposed, like, I think we should start writing letters. And I was like, I don't know, I was just following her lead. I'm like, okay, like,
Mhm.
all right, let's do it. I'm just like, okay, let's do it. Like, you know what I mean? And so I think, not even I think. So once Marquita has always been good at like writing papers and
Mhm.
letters and all that stuff. Like she had like a little niche for that. So she curated a letter,
Mhm.
and I think we had like got it proofread or whatever by our uncle. And then after that, everything was just like, you know what, we're gonna go for the stars. So
Mhm.
we started sending it out to whoever we could think of that would listen to our stories. So Ellen, Oprah, Tyler Perry, Obama at the time, because he
He
was
was
in
in
his
office.
in office.
Tom. We
Um,
sent this to Tom Joyner.
Tom Joyner.
Mhm.
Um, we sent it to, like, those are just to name a few, but we sent it
Yeah.
to
A
a
bunch of
plethora
different
of
people.
people, just to see like if somebody would like kind of reach out to us and take us in on our story. But we really just wanted help. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so, to what Marquita is saying, we told our godmother pretty much like what we were doing.
Mhm.
And I remember she had came to our house at the time,
Mhm.
and she was like, y'all should write a letter to um
She said
Warren
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 Buffett.
Buffett,
Mhm.
Warren Buffett or whatever. And then she had mentioned like the foundation that she had heard about. Don't know how she heard about it. I just know she passed on the word to us, like, hey, I think his sisters have like a foundation, like we'll look a little bit more into it. We get you the information, so on and so forth.
Mhm.
And we were like, okay, at this point, we ain't got nothing to lose. Like, we were desperate at that time to get back into school, and we just wanted help. We needed
Yep.
support financially, and we also needed guidance as well. And so we were just so desperate to get back into school that we were willing to try to send this letter to whoever would listen and take in our
Mhm.
story. Um, and so we ended up at that point, we were still in like the practice of just sending out letters. At this time, we
Mhm.
sending out letters. Now, mind you, the time is different.
Yeah.
Times is different. So we walk into the library, rain, sleet, hail, or snow.
Yep.
We was on the go. We was going to the library, printing it out, and then after we was printing it out, we were hand mailing these letters. Wasn't
Yep.
like how it is
Stamps.
now with stamps. Correct. Wasn't
Yes.
like all that where you could just send an email and all of that. No,
I
no,
mean,
we
they
were,
had email, but we were
yeah,
literally putting it in the mail.
exactly. So we
Mhm.
were doing the manual part of getting the letters out in the mail.
Yep.
Um, and so, I know, we took a chance. All we needed was the information to get the letter to whomever we needed to get it to. So our godmother ended up providing us with that information, and we
Mhm.
sent it out.
Mhm.
and we ain't think nothing of it. We just doing what we had been doing for a few months at that time, like
Yeah.
just taking the chance. We just taking the chance. Like
Mhm.
it, we did get. I don't know
We
if
got some
we.
responses, but it wasn't.
It was like they were saying like
We're
they was
sorry to hear about your story, and
yeah,
it wasn't what we actually needed.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. So um, I think at some point we just kind of went on about our day. I think at some point we started to get a little discouraged because we
Yeah.
weren't hearing back any answers at all. Like we weren't really, you know, connecting with
Mhm.
nobody, right? And so I think we were starting to get a little discouraged, but that didn't like stop us from like trying. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like you can still feel discouraged, but still do something.
Mhm.
So, we just ended up like after we sent it out, we weren't really waiting around to particularly hear from them. We just was like, all right, what can we were still figuring out, okay, while this is in motion, what else could we be doing to try to get the ball rolling or trying to get us
Yeah.
back in school? So,
Mhm.
Marky, that's why I took over
No, you're fine, cause
the question.
you are fine. No, that's literally what happened, and like Nick said, we got defeated at some point because after so many responses and sometimes not getting a response, you just like, okay, maybe this is like too. This was too big of a thought. Maybe this was more of an imagination thing, and maybe you were just thinking too big. So I remember feeling at some point like, damn, this is really gonna be our life. Just working, paying them back. We'll never get to finish school. Like at some point, it started to feel like that was all that we were gonna be able to do. But by God's grace and His mercy and His favor, we got a response back. Not expecting, we just put it out there and we just hope for the best. But we ended up getting a response back, and I just don't even remember around what time this was going into 2013, the probably like spring, maybe winter, late winter, spring ish, or something like that. We got a response back from the Sunshine Lady Foundation. So this was the resource that our godmother gave us that was connected to Warren Buffett. So we've never heard of this foundation, never. Didn't know nothing about him, barely knew anything about Warren Buffett. And they got back to us. And then they loved our story and they invested in our story. And they essentially, after we had to go through just all of the verification and sending in personal information, and I think they needed like references, and it was just a process.
And then hold on too while you right there
Hmm.
too, because I want everybody to understand like how crucial that process was for us. Anytime they would send us like an email
Hmm.
and they would ask for something, they would be
Hmm.
like, we need, I don't know, we need your X document.
Yep.
Like on the go, and it would be sometimes Marquita was at work, and I guess it works out for a reason that I wasn't working at the time
Hmm.
because I would literally whatever they needed, we wasn't driving at the time. We
Hmm.
had no car. So I was walking to the library.
Hmm.
I was walking to the library. If they like, hey, we need this, we was trying to make it work. So I was like literally like on a dime. Or
Yeah.
Marquita was on the dime if she wasn't at work. Like whatever they needed, we was getting it to them. Like it wasn't no, well, we waiting until the next day. That's how bad we wanted this. So
So bad.
I just wanted to put that out there.
No, that's a good point to make because we were so dedicated. We were so committed. Like this felt like, and it is, I'm not going to downplay it. It's like a once in a lifetime opportunity for people. Not everybody gets that kind of help that they need. And we were hundreds, maybe it was hundreds. We were thousands of dollars in debt. So, once we went through the whole formal process of giving them everything that they need, they had to verify. Because you got to think about it. If you have a charity or foundation and you're invested in somebody's story, you have to do your due diligence to make sure that this is not something fake or people just making up stuff or just want money. Like, you got to understand how many pieces of mail they probably get, emails that they probably get with people, asking for money, asking for this, asking for that. So you have to do your part as an organization before you're dishing out anything to make sure that this is what it was. So once we did everything, I cannot quite remember if they paid everything in total of what we owed at Virginia Wesleyan or if they paid enough. I think they paid what was required for us to be able for them to release our transcripts. We didn't care. We did not care. Like we would have took anything because that's how eager and how passionate we were about getting back into school. And although we made a decision to not go back to Virginia Wesleyan, we just wanted to be in school. We knew that is probably the clearest vision I have had thus far of knowing like what I want to do, where we're going to do it, how we're going to do it. And those years of college was like tunnel vision for me. I felt confident in knowing like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is where I'm supposed to be. And I know a part of that was because I felt like, we were doing it for mommy, but we were doing it for us, but we wanted to make her proud essentially. And we wanted her to know that we meant what we said we were going to finish school. So I just thank God, shout out to him because by his grace, his favor, and his mercy, we were able to get our transcripts. Finally, finally, we got our transcripts. And with us having our transcripts, we could transfer anywhere we wanted. It really didn't matter. So I don't know if we tried back again with BCCC or not. I don't think so. So I think the conversation came before we applied. So we have a cousin that went to the school we were looking into. And she talked so many great things about the school, their nursing program, X, Y, and Z. And so we decided to go. So we went to Coppin State University, and that's where we finished undergrad. So we transferred, and that was just a process in itself. Just applying, and we had support. We had people that would go to the school with us, help us to apply, getting through admissions, and the true struggle is financial aid. Yet again, we have arrived back at this point in our life with financial aid. That is just like every college student's nightmare. It has to be. Because it's like the hardest part. Applying, cakewalk. Registering for classes, cakewalk. But that financial aid will chew you up and spit you out. So that was just a process in itself. Nick, do you want to speak about financial aid and how it tore us a new one?
Yeah, and before I talk about financial aid, I know we definitely took time to give thanks to the man upstairs, but a huge shout out to the Sunshine Lady Foundation.
Yes.
Like, I don't, I can't begin to show, like, it's so much gratitude that I can show to you all for what you have done and how you have changed our lives. Like, you all don't understand, like, if you all happen to be watching or this happen to fall on your algorithm somewhere, like if you happen to see this, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Like,
Yes.
and the crazy thing, and is you wanna know what the crazy thing about all of this is? Like, and I think about this sometimes, we don't even know what these people look like. We've never seen these people a day in our life. We've
Nope.
literally just communicated with them via email. I don't think we've even talked to them on the phone.
No, we did. I think I remember speaking to one of I don't know who,
Oh,
but
you're right.
somebody on the phone.
When it came, I know time when it came for them to make sure that the check was going to the appropriate party.
Yeah,
Yes.
we did.
Uh,
Hmm.
um, but I want to just say thank you to the Sunshine Lady Foundation for what you have done and how you have changed our lives. Like, you don't understand. And I know, like, you know, when the process was over, our uncle had helped us in getting them sent like flowers and stuff like that. That was just a small token of like, our gratitude just to say thank you. But I know it's not enough thank yous in the world to thank you all for what you've done for us and how you have
Yes.
helped us tremendously. Like, I will thank you all until the day that I'm no longer walking this earth, and I will speak highly of you all and what you do and what you've done. And I know for
Mhm.
you all, it's probably like, for them, it's probably like this is what we do.
Yeah.
But like what you've done for us has like done such great things for us thus far. So
Mhm.
I just want to give them like a big, 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 big thank you.
Huge shout out. I'm so glad you said that because
Yeah,
that we literally would not be where we are. We would not have been able to advance as much as we did in terms of degrees and all of that stuff without them. They were just like the biggest turning point in our life. And just like I said, it's really a once in a lifetime experience for some people. And it really changed our lives in a very big, huge way. So shout out to you all. Thank you so much. I pray just at some point one day that we'll be able to meet. We can work together. That there are good things that we can do.
yeah, for sure. Thank you to Sunshine Lady Foundation again for taking a chance on us. To, two kids from Baltimore who just lost their mom and didn't even know, how we were going to be able to fulfill our dream of wanting to go back to school and
Yep.
making our mom proud. So, you know, and all of it, goes hand in hand, and to like God will work his magic. He's a magician. He is more than what you think, and
Hmm.
he'll do more than what you think that he can do.
Yeah.
So definitely, but to kind of like steer back onto the path about financial aid. So financial aid was difficult for everybody who, even the parents out here who put their kids who put their kids in school and they got to go through financial aid. If you know, like having to go up to the school,
Yep.
um and actually figure out, okay, what's what, because we didn't have to do anything financially. Our mom did everything, so we're learning everything as we go, like on the rip. We're just learning everything. so,
Hmm.
so we went to financial aid, to try to figure out, how we could get some type of financial assistance, you know what I mean. And so I wish I knew this lady name.
I see her face, but I can't remember her
I see
name.
her face, but I can't remember her name. But she was ever so sweet to us.
Hmm.
And we pretty much told her, you know, the dilemma. Like, hey, like we just lost our mom. We have no clue what we doing. We just trying to
Hmm.
get financial aid to get into school and to ultimately to live on campus.
Yeah.
And she looked at us and she was like, "Oh my God, okay, all right, all right, don't worry about it. I got it, I got it." And I don't know what she did. I don't know how she did it, but she was able to get us in and get us set with financial aid.
Hmm.
Like,
Now, don't get me
and
wrong. We still we still had loans. Like we still had to
yeah,
take out, loan. I just don't want people to think like I don't know what she did or what she. I want them to think that she was on some scamming stuff. It wasn't. It
yeah, no,
wasn't
she
that.
wasn't on nothing scamming, but I know that like she helped us and assist us in a way in which like it didn't require much from us because we
Hmm.
didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, so she
she
kind
took
of
the
helped with
lead
the
on it.
process
Yeah.
of like helping us with getting like the proper loans and showing us like, okay, this is what loans you qualify for, so
Hmm.
on and so forth. So good point in bringing that up. I don't, please y'all, please. She wasn't doing nothing crazy.
Right.
Um, and so she kind of helped us and she was walking us through. like the process and like letting us know like, all right, well, this is what this is. It'll cover this much, it'll cover this much. Safe to say we
Mhm.
didn't have to come out of pocket for nothing
Mhm.
with the loans that she advised us to move forward with.
And the grants, because we were eligible for grants too. But
Hmm.
that process taught us how to be like process taught us what we now know as being an independent. We didn't know what that was. Because when you're going to college, your parents essentially, you are a dependent under them. So they essentially have to use their credit, their social, to um, apply for you to get financial aid. Those loans have to go under them. But it was the opposite for us because mommy helped us take out loans for BWC, but when she passed, we had to become independent. So we don't have anybody to depend on, and that just changes everything. It changes everything.
Yeah, it's exactly what Marquita was saying. I think, you know, it's a big adjustment when you don't know what you're doing. Like when your parents do everything, it's like you're kind of like following their lead,
Mm-hmm.
knowing like, all right, well, my parents will take care of it.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to kind of use this as a moment for all of our viewers who may be parents who plan to put their kids through college or are currently putting their kids through college. Like, I want y'all to understand, like, it is really important that you have that teaching mentality or teaching attitude when it comes to financial aid. I get it's like, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want my kids to really worry. They shouldn't even be thinking about financial aid, this, and this. But I just want you to kind of like make them knowledgeable about what the process is and what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
Because in the event that something happens to you, they need to be aware of how the process works, what questions to ask, who to talk to, what
Mm-hmm.
department to reach if said things happen. Like those are things that like you should be discussing with your kids. Like now understand like your kids should have know like, oh well, I'm paying 10,000 here, 10,000 there is coming from this,
Mm-hmm.
this and this. Like, if you choose to like get into like the minutiae of that, then that's fine. But
Mm-hmm.
at least at least try to, make it as plain as possible for them when you're discussing financial aid so that way they understand the process,
Yeah.
right? Like that they truly understand like what financial aid entails
Mm-hmm.
and what it covers,
Yep.
and how to maneuver when you're dealing with financial aid because it's very difficult to deal with financial aid if you don't know
Yeah.
what you're looking for, what you're doing. It's very
Mm-hmm.
difficult.
Yeah. It is. And just like it's important to educate them on the financial aid aspects of things. And we went through this. Our mom kind of tried to hit us over the head over and over and over again about applying for scholarships, applying for grants. So you don't have to worry about as many loans. Do you know how light our load would be now if we didn't have to take out the amount of loans that we did or the amount for the loans that we took out? Like, how less our debt would be. It's really just about being knowledgeable. And there are some families or parents that they themselves are not knowledgeable. But I think that's a perfect opportunity for you and your child or your children to learn together. For y'all to both know what that process entails, how it affects your credit, what is the proper system for paying it back. Because, honey, those refund checks are cute in the moment. They're cute. They do what they're supposed to do, but when it's all said and done, and you don't have any more refund anything, you're left with those loans and having to pay that stuff back. So these are all things that essentially, we really had to take the time to learn. And it really felt overwhelming, like a complicated process again. And I had a little bit of fear in me because I'm like, why? We back up, our back is back up against the wall again. First, it was the transcripts. We got cleared from the transcripts. Now it's the financial aid. But luckily, what's her name? Is Green? I don't remember. But her heart. Bless her heart. God bless her, please, literally. Because she made it plain for us. That's the language. She made it plain for us. She took the weight that we felt and helped walk us through it so that it didn't feel as complicated as it felt initially. She helped us out so very much. And yeah, I feel like just having that downtime for that year and then turning around and having to, we felt hopeless at some point, and then just receiving such a big blessing to get back into school, it literally just, all worked out. But one thing that didn't change, whether we were working jobs, whether we were working to get back in school, and we mentioned this in previous videos, is that our work ethic never changed. And that was a foundation that mommy instilled in us from the beginning. Get up and take care of your business. Don't sleep in. You're wasting time sleeping in when you can be getting up, making phone calls, doing X, Y, and Z. Like, that foundation never left us. And because of that foundation, because of that momentum that we had, we were able to do, what we needed to do, but stay the course. And this part of our story just always gives me so much hope. When I find myself like feeling like things won't turn around, or feeling like, oh, this is gonna be my life, I drift off and think about this part of our story, and it reminds me that it always works out. But we have to get rid of our personal timeline that we hold ourselves to, and that we sometimes hold God to, that He has to follow our timeline, and that's not how that works. We follow His timeline. He says that at the right time He will bless us. He only knows the right time. We don't. So in that year of us working these little penny ante jobs and dealing with BS supervisors and coworkers and rude customers and Nick fingers getting all blistered up from changing sheets and all of this crazy stuff, like, it can start to feel like, oh, this is it. I guess this is, all we have to look forward to. But you have to keep being hopeful. And it's so important to surround yourself around people who are going to be hopeful for you when you can't be. When I think about our godmother, when I think about some of my friends that helped us, that sat down and try to like brainstorm with us, help us figure out like what we are going to do. When I think about family that stepped in and believed in what we were trying to do, it's so important to be surrounded around people who are like-minded. And no dream is too big for you to, accomplish. So yeah, I mean, that's really what this episode was truly about. Just y'all understanding that there is a light, and you may go through a lot of dark places before you get there, but it is a light, and there is life after grief, is life during grief. There, you can live a life and still honor and commemorate your loved ones, your mom figure. You can still make them proud. You can still create new traditions. Like, Nick will tell you, our mom wanted us to be out of state for school. She wanted us to have that experience. And although we could not continue on with that, we wouldn't have the friends that we have if we didn't take that year and go out of state and experience the things that we experienced. But we also wouldn't be who we are if we didn't attend um our HBCU. So, you may not be able to honor your mom or mom figure by doing the exact same thing that they may have wanted you to do, but you can still recreate plans and dreams and visions, and it all equals out, to be the same thing.
Yeah, and I
So,
also wanted to kind of add real quick on that as well. Like, as hard as it may feel, you have to find small ways to still stay encouraged. It's okay to feel discouraged.
Mhm.
Okay? You're gonna have those moments when you do get discouraged, and that's totally fine. It's totally normal. But you gotta find a small way to get back up on that horse.
Yep.
Like, don't let it defeat you. And don't think that change is never gonna come. Don't
Yeah.
don't ever think those things, because God will he will shock you. He
Mhm.
did it for us. Like, the
So
amount
many
of
times.
letters that we sent out, and we all of the no's that we got, it only take one yes.
Yep.
It only take one yes. You could get 1,000 no's, but you only need one yes. That's all you need. And when you stay hopeful for one yes, despite being told no a plethora of times, that's
Mhm.
the hope that you should hang on to, that one yes.
Yep.
Because that one yes could change your life. And I literally
Mhm.
thought about this too, and it's so crazy because I wanted to speak to what Marquita was saying. Like, our mom wanted us to go out of state for school. When I tell you we was pissed because we wanted to go to Eastern Shore.
Yep.
When
Well,
we
originally you wanted to go to school in New York.
I wanted to go to NYU for music. I wanted to go to NYU for music, but
Mhm.
it was too expensive and my mom couldn't afford that. So,
Yep. And I
uh,
wanted to go to Clark
and Marquita wanted
so
to go to
bad.
club. Yeah,
Mhm.
so, our mom, already had it panned out for us. We had, um, obviously, like, applied for, like, some of those schools, Bowie, UMES, and I forget whom else. But we ended up getting into UMES. And I
Mhm.
remember our mother was like, "No, I don't want y'all to go there. Y'all need to go somewhere where, y'all can step outside of your comfort zone and
Mhm.
meet different people and broaden your horizon." She was just real big on, like, broadening your horizon in any way that she could
Mhm.
try to enforce that. And so, with that being said, it's crazy because then we ended up, when it was all said and done, we ended up still going to a HBCU.
Yep.
Um,
Mhm.
and so, like I said, is God has the final say.
Final.
He has the final say. So even though we were getting told no, and or being kind of let down easy, I should say, they weren't just blatantly like, "No, we're not going to take your
Mhm.
story." They just kind of, like, gave us a little soft letdown, but we didn't stop. We didn't
Yep.
stop. Were we discouraged? Yes, but we was doing everything still being discouraged. Like,
Mhm.
it didn't matter. So, you know you gotta push yourself. And I know, doing grieving, to do anything, it's hard.
It's hard.
Is
Yeah.
it's hard. Like, even waking up in the morning, or even, like, doing anything remotely close to what you used to do. But utilize that time to do two things, to find, even if it's the 1%. The 1% makes a difference to get
Yep.
yourself back up on the horse, and to
Mhm.
two, create a new life for yourself as you've never seen it before. You can
Mhm.
dream big, dream as big as you want, like, and understand that, even though, like Marquita said, even though it's not coming right now, like, God may not come and do things when we want him to do them, but he does it on time. He's an on time God, and he's never failed. He will
Mhm.
never fail. You just have
Yeah.
the faith of a mustard seed.
Mhm.
The
That's
faith of a
it.
mustard seed. So I wanted to just offer those words of encouragement to you all, because at the end of the day, that's still what we held on to, and I mean, still to this day now. But, like, during that process, we literally just held on to that 1%, or
Yep.
that one small seed, like,
Mhm.
and we
And it took
kept,
us far.
yeah, and we kept sowing. Like, we kept sowing, kept sending letters, and no, we didn't let the one know, the second or the third know. We kept going. We
Yep.
kept going.
So don't, like Nick said, overall, just don't give up. It's tough, and there may be seasons where you do have to slow down or sit down, but there is still something you can do while you're sitting. You don't have to just completely lay it all down and just feel like, oh, well, this is just the end. It's not. And there's far more greater in your future and who God called you to be. And here we are, both of us, 2 degrees later. Not only a bachelor's, but a master's degree. We didn't stop. We kept going. 2 degrees later, we went from hearing, no, you can't get back into school because you owe this amount of money. And we never even mentioned on this platform, but we spoke about it before. Even the guy in the financial aid office at VWC told us, like, oh, you'll never be able to make it back into school. The amount of money that y'all owe, it's going to take you years before you can get back into school. And that's okay. That's what he felt like was what it was going to be. But God said something different. So here we are, 14 years later. But when did you graduated? 2017, bachelor's
Talking about
degree.
undergrad, yeah,
Yeah,
17,
right. So you got to think
17,
about it. Our mom passed in 2012. By 2016, I was done with my bachelor's degree. By 2019, I was done with my master's degree. Nick graduated with her bachelor's in 2017. When did you finish with your master's? 2020, right?
2020 or 2020, 2020,
2020,
2020.
2020. So whatever that man was talking about, oh, it'll take you years, you'll never be able to get back in school. He's a liar. And so is the devil. Is what you need to understand. They're both liars. So don't listen to it. Don't fall for it. That does not to determine the outcome of your story. Keep going, keep pressing. Whether you gotta cry, crawl, uh, I don't care. Don't stop. That's the biggest thing that I'll pray somebody, takes away from that. Anybody wanting to pursue college, pursue trade school, or even if you don't want to pursue, you want to get a certificate, maybe you want to go to the army, maybe you don't want to do neither one, maybe you just want to start working. I don't care what it is. Be great at it. And don't allow other people to tell you how long it's going to take you to get somewhere, how you're going to get somewhere, because they don't have the final say.
Yeah, or that it's not gonna happen.
Or that it's not going to happen because they are not the author of your story. They are just not. So we are gonna close out this episode, like all of our other episodes. We are gonna go into our next segment of if heaven had visiting hours, what would you say to your mom or your mom figure this week? So I'll start by saying if heaven had visiting hours, what I would say to mommy is we did it, Joe. No, seriously. I would say I would ask and say, I hope you're proud. I really do. Because we worked really hard and we couldn't have done it on our own, but I hope that who we have become thus far, that we represent you well and that you are proud of us. That's what I would say to mommy. Nick, what would you say?
I too would say we did it, Joe. We definitely did it, Joe. For
Uh-huh.
real, we did it. But I want to kind of piggyback off of that because I always think about how like I I'll never forget like when mommy was on her deathbed and we promised her that we would. We
Mm-hmm.
we promised her that we would. And mommy did right by us and I felt like we returned the favor.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
obviously like, it's not to say that like that was the only thing that like that
Mm-hmm.
we owe to her. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that like we've thus far, since we've lost her, we've done our best to make sure that we honor her
Mm-hmm.
in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? And the
Yeah.
biggest thing is like, I would wanna ask mommy if I could, I would wanna ask her like, um I would wanna ask her like, hey ma, you remember you said you would help us pay for grad school?
Seriously.
Cause
Like,
she told us, she said she will,
she did say that.
she told us, she said,
If we
I'll,
finish,
if we finish, if we decided to, continue on higher education, she would pay for it.
where
So,
is it at?
yeah, that's like on a funnier note. I would be like, hey, Ma, you remember you said you would help us pay for
Mm-hmm.
grad school, but you still got us. Like,
Right.
can you sprinkle some little dust down here to try to make something happen where we can make these, grad school loans go away?
Seriously. No,
You
for real.
you think? Because and it's crazy because I for sure myself, I don't know about Marquita, but for me, I told my mother, I said, Ma, I ain't going back. I'm not doing. You
You
only
did.
got a bachelor's
Mm-hmm.
degree out of me, boo, and that's it. That's all I'm giving up. But to know that I actually went through and got my master's, like
Mm-hmm.
I know she would be like proud of both of us for having our masters, but mainly for me because I told her that I wasn't getting my master's. Monkey, I
Yeah,
don't think Monkey ever said anything about any
I
of that,
didn't.
but
No.
I told mommy, I said, hey, boy, you only getting 4 years out of me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But, and it's crazy because what people may not know is I took a year off. Marquita went straight to grad school.
Straight through.
I
Yeah.
took I took a year off and was like, I'm really done with school. Like school's exhausting. Like I mean,
Very.
you can say what you want. It's exhausting.
Very. Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, yeah, I'm done. And then something just kind of like clicked for me. I was
Yeah.
I was out of school for one whole year and I was like, I said, no, I still felt like I was under that 11:59 like puppet show, feeling
Woo.
like everything needed to be due at 11:59. So I felt like I had like a little bit of like, you know, PTSD from that. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I told myself, I said, while you still feel that fire, go back to school. Just
Go
go
back.
ahead and go back to
Mm-hmm.
school or whatever. And so, Marquita went straight because Coppin had her major. I wanted to go to Coppin to do mine as well, but they didn't have my major, so I ended up going to Morgan State
Mm-hmm.
for grad school. But yeah, man, we did it, Joe. For real. We
We
did
did,
it.
girl.
We did
We
it.
did.
And we hope that you're proud and we hope that
Yes.
that you look at this as a badge of honor as a mom. You did your big
Yep.
one, boo. You did you did your big one, and thank you for all of your guidance that you were
Yes.
able to give us while you were here, and thank you
Mm.
for showing us what it truly meant to be independent.
Yeah.
Like wait, I really do have to say I'm a survivor. Like
Seriously.
for real.
Girl.
We still wait, and Destiny's Child said, and don't stop and keep on surviving. We still surviving though, boo.
We still surviving, girl. Woo. You ain't tell us how hard life was,
No,
but
for real.
we still surviving. We still making it. Thank the Lord Jesus because woo woo wee. Oh my gosh. Uh, so I think that's the perfect segue into our cheers. We are going to cheers to that. We are going to cheers to the fact that we did it. We made it. We just college is a beast in itself. It's fun. It's lit. It's all the things, but it's like Nick said, the 11:59 deadline will have you hung up for a while. So cheers to that. We are going to go ahead and bring in our cheers. I have my big cup today. Of course, it's just water. And we're going to cheers to that. Cheers to the fact that we did it.
Cheers. I have water as well. Cheers. I have
Cheers.
water this week, not like the last time. I got water this week.
Yeah. So cheers to that. So as we wrap up this episode, we truly hope that our story inspires you all, that it gives you hope this week or this day. We hope that you find your community of people that will dream big with you, that will hold you accountable, that will hold you up when you feel like you can't do it. We hope that in our testimony, in our story, that you will grow that even grow that much closer to God, because none of this would be possible without him. Again, huge shout out, major shout out to the Sunshine Lady Foundation for blessing our lives in more ways than one. We thank you so very much. And we hope that you all are enjoying the episodes that we put out. We thank you so much for all of your support. As always, please follow us on all platforms at Angel22. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our like, comment, share, subscribe on all of our platforms and follow us. And we're here if you need us. DM us on any platform and we will help you the best way that we know how. And until next episode, we love you all and we thank you all for your support. And we hope that you have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.